World War I has been called a forgotten war, and that title is well earned. The National Memorial didn't open until 2021, and even then, it wasn't complete until now. Good Day's Robert Moses is here with the very latest on this new part of the monument. Good morning, Robert.
Dan, good morning to you. The centerpiece of the memorial on Pennsylvania Avenue in Washington is a stunning and expressive, dynamic bronze sculpture, unlike any monument in this country. It is the brainchild of a sculptor from New York whose story we have followed since he won a design competition back in 2016. It depicts the people touched by the war in gut-wrenching detail, the soldiers and the loved ones they left behind.
This is a symbol for who we are. It's almost like a Statue of Liberty or a Mount Rushmore that now sits 150 yards from the White House.
With the official unveiling at sunset of A Soldier's Journey, the World War I memorial is now complete. The memorial centerpiece, the bronze sculpture made of 38 figures stretching 58 feet long and weighing 25 tons, tells the story of the war in cinematic detail, from deployment to battle to carnage to homecoming.
A soldier, a dad, an allegory for the United States, leaves home, enters into battle, and is transformed, and from that moment returns home to hand his daughter his helmet.
Sculptor Sabin, a native New Yorker, conceived it. In 2016, he won a design competition. That is when we first met him in the Bronx.
I'm Sabin, and I'm a classical figurative sculptor.
It's a miracle. This is truly a miracle that this happened.
A miracle because, Howard says, a combination of preservationists, planners, and bureaucrats meddled with his vision.
We were coming in and putting in something that would completely change the feeling of that area.
And so there was some resistance to that.
Yes. The resistance was so much so that they did everything in their power to block us, and they figured if we were stalled long enough, we'd run out of money and the project would go home.
But he wouldn't let that happen because he considered his mission too important, which is why he spent the better part of the last decade ensuring he accomplished it in his way.
All the veterans that posed for the sculpture passed through moments where life was not a given the next day. And that's what this sculpture is about. It speaks about how sacred human beings are. It's not about war so much. It is the subject, but it's more about how sacred humanity is.
Howard sculpted the figures from clay at his studio in Englewood, New Jersey, and then sent them to a foundry in the UK where workers cast them in bronze. They arrived back in the United States in giant shipping containers before getting lowered into place in Pershing Park in Washington this summer. 4.7 million Americans served in World War I. More than 116,000 of them died. Howard's sculpture memorializes World War I, yes, but it tells a universal story, one that he hopes visitors will learn from long after he is gone.
Human life is sacred. War is a horrible thing. I hate war. And so this sculpture to me was a way to make it apparent that humanity needs to be thought of as something that is sacred.
When your obituary is written, whenever that is, what do you want it to say?
Sabin was a troublemaker, a professional troublemaker. He made people think about what was possible, and that is really important. Rise to the occasion. Go beyond what your limits are.
And the unveiling of this sculpture later on today, or the first illumination as organizers are calling it, begins at 7:15 tonight as the sun is setting. It will be an amazing sight there in Washington. The Smithsonian Magazine once called this sculpture, quote, perhaps the greatest memorial bronze of the modern age. Tashani and Dan, back to you.
It is a stunning sculpture, and maybe even a more important message given what the subject matter is. Robert, thank you very much.
Yeah, the intricate design just evokes so many different emotions. Great piece.